Words, words, yes, words. They're the most powerful tools we possess. They can inspire, heal, and uplift. But in the wrong hands, they can also hurt, degrade, and destroy. Today, we're spreading the daily seeds of mindset with the profound wisdom of Machona Dliwayo, who said, "The tongue has no bones, but it is strong enough to break a heart. Use your words wisely, but also learn to shield yourself from their harm." This quote is a beautiful reminder of the power that words hold. They are invisible, yet they can leave a lasting mark, for good or bad. They can mend a broken spirit, ignite a spark of hope, or shatter a soul into a million pieces. The significance of this quote lies not only in its poetic charm, but in its timeless truth. We can all recall moments when words have left us feeling uplifted or utterly crushed. It's a universal experience that transcends borders and cultures, reminding us that our words carry weight, they matter, and they have consequences. But it's not just about the words we say, it's about the way we use them. Mindful communication is critical. It's the art of expressing ourselves with awareness and intention, choosing words that foster understanding, empathy, and connection, rather than division and conflict. It's easy to let our words fly in the heat of the moment, but it's in those moments that mindful communication is most needed. It's about taking a deep breath, gathering our thoughts, and choosing our words carefully. It's about recognizing the power we hold and using it responsibly. And it's not just about protecting others from our words, but also protecting ourselves from the words of others. This is where the wisdom of Dliwayo's quote shines through. It reminds us that even though words can hurt, we have the power to shield ourselves from their harm. So let's take this wisdom with us as we navigate through our conversations and interactions every day. Let's choose our words carefully, communicate mindfully, and remember to shield ourselves when necessary. Remember, the tongue has no bones, but it is strong enough to break a heart. Use your words wisely, but also learn to shield yourself from their harm. So how do you deal with unexpected verbal attacks? What are the strategies that can help you navigate these challenging situations? Let's learn this by examining 3 real-life scenarios. First scene, you're in a meeting and a colleague suddenly criticizes your work. It's a tense moment. The room is silent. But instead of retaliating, you take a deep breath, maintain your composure and say, "I appreciate your feedback, let's discuss this further after the meeting." This strategy of diffusing the situation and postponing the discussion allows you to gather your thoughts and respond in a composed and respectful manner later. The second example involves a heated conversation at a family dinner. A relative makes a hurtful comment. Instead of lashing out, you calmly state, "I see your point, but I think we have different perspectives on this matter." This approach not only shows your respect for their viewpoint, but also communicates that you won't be drawn into an argument. In our final scenario, imagine you're at a public event and someone insults you. The crowd waits for your reaction. Instead of responding with a counterattack, you simply smile and say, "Thank you for your opinion," before walking away. This response demonstrates that you won't allow negativity to affect your peace of mind. In each of these scenarios, the individuals faced verbal attacks, but chose not to engage in a battle of words. They remained calm, composed, and respectful, not allowing the situation to escalate. They understood that responding in anger or frustration would only add fuel to the fire. These 3 strategies reflect the wisdom of the quote by Karen Somanson. Sometimes the most powerful response to an insult is silence. Let your actions speak louder than any words thrown your way. Each of these examples demonstrates the power of a measured response. It's not about winning an argument, it's about preserving your peace. Sometimes the most powerful response is not a counterattack, but a well-placed silence. These words by Karen Salmonson ring true in many situations, especially when we find ourselves on the receiving end of a verbal attack. Silence, in its essence, is neutral. However, when used effectively, it can become a powerful tool for communication. It's not about ignoring or avoiding conflict, but rather it's about choosing to respond in a way that maintains dignity and demonstrates self-control. This is not about passive resistance, but active resilience. When we choose silence in the face of an insult, we're not giving in to the negativity. Instead, we're making a conscious decision not to engage with it. We're showing that we won't allow someone else's words to dictate our emotions or reactions. Consider, for instance, a situation where a colleague makes a snide remark about your work. The easy path might be to retaliate with a sharp comeback, but what does that truly accomplish? It may give a momentary thrill, but it seldom leads to a productive resolution. Instead, imagine choosing silence, letting your colleague's words hang in the air, unanswered. It's a response that conveys more strength and self-assuredness than any retort ever could. But silence is not just about withholding a response, it's also about the actions that follow. It's about letting your work, your integrity, and your character speak for you. Let's take the example of a public figure who faces baseless accusations. Rather than getting into a war of words, they choose to remain silent, focusing instead on their actions, their commitments, their service. Over time, these actions drown out the noise, proving the accusations wrong better than any words could have. As Karen Salmonson reminds us, sometimes the most powerful response to an insult is silence. Let your actions speak louder than any words thrown your way. Silence, when used wisely, becomes a shield, a sword, and a statement, all rolled into one. It's the wisdom of knowing when to speak and when to let your silence do the talking. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's topic. What do you think about specific aspects of the video? Drop a comment below and let's get a discussion going. Thank you for watching our video on shielding from verbal attacks. We hope that these strategies have provided you with valuable insights on how to handle verbal confrontations effectively. But remember, our journey doesn't end here. We're all a part of this community, learning and growing together. As we continue, please consider subscribing to our channel and hitting the bell icon. This will ensure that you receive updates on our latest videos. It's a simple action, but it goes a long way in supporting us and enabling us to create more content like this. But our interaction shouldn't be limited to just watching videos. This is a community and every voice matters. We want to hear from you. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you had to use silence as a response? How did it pan out? What other strategies do you use when faced with verbal attacks? Share your stories, your insights, your experiences. Let's learn from each other. Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation.